alright?
Yeah.
Good.
Nice hat. So, yeah.
Harry makes me wear it.
Oh, okay.
Come on, Imps. I'll have to pop up, I need to get changed.
You actually have proper snow up here.
Yeah, it's been pretty bad. I mean,
We have nothing.
it's just ice now, but bad on Thursday. What an interesting conversation.
It's great, isn't it? That's what you do when you're growing up. Talking about nonsense.
Isn't it? Yeah, so I'm tapping out of Dishonored.
Why?
Because it's not very good.
What do you mean it's not very good?
I really don't like it, man. It's not that it's not very good, I just can't get into it. You know, when you
have to be in the right mindset for it.
like, yeah, proper. I've done 3 missions.
Careful. Yeah. Snow, etc.
I've done 3 missions.
Yeah.
And I haven't enjoyed one of them.
Really?
Yeah, and everything was just like taking forever. I did that mission where it's like I don't know if it was a side mission or a main mission where you have to return the body to Morbid Millie, is her name, I think.
Yeah.
And it was just such a ball ache. Like,
how were you playing though? Like, were you playing like high chaos, or are you?
Well, I was playing high chaos, but I was doing what I always do with these games, where I start off.
You tried to do stealth, yeah.
Yeah. I started off stealth.
Yeah.
And then like just get bored and try and kill everyone. But it was kind of like I can see it being satisfying if you like stealth games, but I think I just don't like I don't like stealth games, but I love the first Dishonored. So I think what it is, it's one of those things where it's like I'm the problem, not the game. And because I'm not reviewing it, I'm not trying to push through that barrier.
Yeah.
I'm just getting to a point where I'm just kind of like, oh my god, I've just played Doom and now I'm doing this.
That was the problem I had, because at the beginning, you know, like when we were on the podcast before, we were talking about it, and the big problem I had with it was all like the lore and everything that they keep throwing at you, and everything slows you down. Everything's constantly slowing you down.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, because I was reviewing it, that's why I did kind of push through it, and then I began to find the good stuff. But yeah, in the beginning, it's a bit of a slog in the beginning.
That
the
intro,
beginning is terrible.
The intro is one of the worst I've seen in a game. Like, it just makes no sense.
Yeah.
Like, all of a sudden, like, so it starts off, you're about to not celebrate, but you're about to do the ball to mark the occasion where your mum got murdered.
Yeah.
And or where, what's her name? Corvo Emily.
Yeah.
Where her mum gets murdered, right? And you walk in, and they're like, oh, there's a bit of uncertainty because a load of your...
Yeah. Like, what are all these soldiers doing here?
It's just, all of a sudden these people just turn up. Oh, yeah, I'm your mum's sister. I'm now Empress.
Yeah.
What? And then they just start killing you.
Yeah.
Nah, not for me. Not for me. That was just like...
The thing is, though, I mean, it does get better. Like, it genuinely gets a lot better. It's just...
It's a shame, because the intro to the original Dishonored was really good, wasn't it? Because you were in the... you're in the palace or whatever it was, and you were playing hide and seek.
Yeah.
And all that sort of shit. That stuff was alright, and at least it built up to something. This was just like... Oh, here's the story, here's the world now, everyone's going to kill you.
Yeah.
Like, just out of nowhere. And I was just like, oh, fuck this.
I think it's like I said, they just front load at the beginning so much sort of like information and so much like about what sort of so extraneous information that doesn't really help you at all, and then it doesn't get you into the game very well, which is the problem with it. But also coming off Doom is like, it's a bad choice.
Yeah, no, it is. I totally did that the wrong way round. I might have put more time into Dishonored if I'd have played that before Doom. But
so what are you going to move to next?
I'm thinking it's probably going to be Gears of War 4
Oh,
next.
Really?
Yeah, because it's like 25 quid in CEX at the moment.
See, before I was a big fan of the series, but I've not. I don't know. Just ain't got round to it, I guess. Ouch.
And I've heard it's a good one. And what's the other game? Oh yeah, I've been watching. I've been watching John Denton play Hitman on Twitch.
Yeah.
And that game looks fucking good. So possibly that. I don't know. So why have you got your bag with you? Why don't you just leave it at mine?
Well, I know, I've got like invitation and stuff, and
invitation.
What's
to the Royal Palace?
I've got like invitation. I've got.
Did you get like a separate email saying like confirming everything? Or?
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, you didn't get that.
No. When was that?
That was, I don't know, about a week after or something.
No, you had what? You had an email that said
congratulations, you've won.
Yeah.
And then I got another one saying thank you for registering.
I don't think I got the thank you for registering, so there's a chance of...
Did you actually not register?
Yeah, I did register. I totally registered.
Okay.
Okay, well, we'll see what happens when we turn up.
So I've got that. I mean, I can't leave that at your house. I've got
what?
wallet. I need that. Okay, I've got an Xbox pad. Probably not very useful.
Yeah, you probably should have bought that.
And my 3DS.
Oh, you ain't bought your 3DS.
I might get street passes.
What for fuck's sake?
It's a Nintendo event. How am I not going to get street passes?
Right, okay. Why do you want street passes?
That's a very good question. But
no. Like, what do you get out of getting street passes today?
I can play games. I can play the games.
What do you mean you can play the games?
The street pass games.
But can't you play them anyway? What do you mean?
You know that you need people so that you can play the street pass games.
Right.
So, you know, not many people have 3DSs anymore, like carrying them around.
So what, do you get like more... What happens now that you get a few more? What's the difference between this morning, you playing that game, and tonight playing that game?
I can actually play the game.
It doesn't let you play the game?
No, not unless you've got street passes.
How much did you pay for these games?
Don't start that.
Don't start that. You pay for a game and you can't play it unless you've got street passes.
Yeah, but that's because everyone was doing street pass when it first started, but now no one does.
No, that doesn't excuse that business model.
No, it's about 15 quid, isn't it?
Fucking hell, James. You bought a game that you can't play it unless you go to a Nintendo event in London.
It's alright, because my daughter's got a 2DS, so usually we street pass with each other at least once a day.
That is the saddest thing I've ever heard. Got 2 pre-orders.
Got one with shop 2 and one with game.
Why?
Didn't know if it was
Why game as well? Like, game of...
They were one of the only ones that were like, they were offering them, like, prior to... Didn't you hear the whole thing about the £1,000 and PayPal and everything?
No.
It's really funny. Because when you pre-ordered with them, because they didn't know how much it was going to cost, they put a placeholder price of $99999, right? So that's like £1,000.
Yeah.
But then apparently when people, because with a game you can pay via PayPal or debit card or whatever, right?
Okay.
People that were paying with PayPal were trying to bill them for the amount, you see.
Jesus Christ.
And there was quite a lot of angry people, and you know.
What did game do about it?
They just like, I think they talked with like PayPal and got them to like not bill it. They were like, this is like don't bill it immediately.
Why? I have no idea why you would ever order anything with those guys.
What game?
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't either. But it's
well, you have.
There was no one else that was doing it.
No, but you literally pre-ordered with them.
But there was no one else that was doing it.
So why are you saying you would never? Yeah, of course I am. Why would you say that you would never?
Because there was no choice, was there? There was no other ones. There was Shop 2. Amazon aren't doing it. So I had to do that. Yeah, but they are now, but they weren't before.
So you wait until they are doing it. Yeah, I mean, this is
but
insane.
Then you've got less chance of getting one, though, haven't you? It doesn't matter anyone earlier, because I'm not even going to use them, so it's fine.
You're definitely going to cancel both of them.
Probably. It depends on today. I mean, maybe today will be amazing. You never know. And then you will be begging me to give you one of my
maybe
pre-orders.
Maybe Switch will convince me to part with £280.
Yeah, it might happen.
Fuck off. Do you want to give... Have you got Sean's number? Or
no,
just...
So what's happening?
Yeah, WhatsApp him. Say we're by the escalators.
Yeah. He said he was wandering around, so...
He's probably... What's the most, like, unpopular shop in it? He's probably head for that.
Well, he wouldn't have gone for Starbucks, because...
No, not Starbucks.
Yeah.
He's gone for something like that. Molly's Fresh Coffee shop. Sean Bell.
See...
Sean Bell.
All this stuff's far too mainstream.
Sean Bell.
Well, these are some more escalators, but he's not going to...
If we caught him in Pret a Manger...
There are 2 sets.
Oh, mate, we're near the... Right, well, let's go to the other ones. You can't just call him, no?
No, I've got his number, have I? I'm not exclusive enough to...
Have you not got his number?
No.
Man, you go to a nightclub with him, he dishes it out to every bird in there. Tell him we're walking down the other end. Is that him there? Look, is that him?
Where?
Is that him or just a bloke that looks like him? I think I can see him. I think I can see Sean Bell.
I can't see Sean Bell.
I might slap him on the head. If I go upstairs, is that him? Yeah, it is him. Look, there he is. Look. You can never tell because there's so many motherfuckers that look like him.
Yeah.
Hey, what's that motherfucker?
Hello, good to see somebody. Yeah.
Are you ready for the time of your life, Mr. Sean Bell?
Are you recording the whole thing?
Yeah, Matt's not coming.
Shit, that.
Instead, we've got Andrew Smith from Spilt Milk coming.
Is he supposed to be here, or is he?
He said he was heading in for 1, and we're also meeting Chazzy.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully we can talk to them about Ting. Where's the exit? Is that the one straight opposite? Because there's 2, isn't
Have
there?
you seen any more of like people that are obviously going to this?
Well, yeah, like I said on WhatsApp, there was an overweight guy in a baby metal hoodie, so I reckon, okay, we're here.
Reckon we're all right. Surprised it's not this fella right here, you know what I mean? He's loved it. He's loved that little trip, hasn't he?
It's been brilliant. It's been brilliant the whole way.
What was your favourite bit?
Probably taking the piss out of me for wearing this coat, and then the thing with the Doritos.
I didn't even do that.
No, that was John Dent.
Right, okay, let's go.
Surely that release schedule that they've shown for 2017 is surely peppered with loads of indie
Because
stuff.
that's what Sony did with the PS4. Like, you know, they did that whole like, okay, we haven't actually got any games, but it's all right because there's loads of indie stuff coming. But yeah, Nintendo.
It's like here's a 30-second segment, and it's the best thing in the show.
Yeah.
But are indie developers interested in doing stuff for Nintendo?
Why not? It seems pretty.
Well, because the install base. Surely, if you're an indie developer, you want to try and reach the biggest audience possible.
But if it's still a small install base,
It's odd because I think a lot of it might just be down to Unity.
Yeah.
Like right now, you can't export to the Wii. Sorry.
Are you kidding?
Fucking the Switch, right? It's just not. It's not in there yet, and it will be. Of course, it will. But then until that's a thing,
It needs to be there before the console comes out.
That's what I'm saying. They didn't really do that for the Wii U though. I mean, there was a lot of indie stuff at the start, but then
They did a bit of a push last year.
I think that was
But the kicker was, like with the Wii U, most of the indie stuff that came out on the Wii U, you could also get on the Vita. Yeah, you can take that wherever you want. So with this, I was like, if they can get that same support on the Switch,
I
that'd
think
be
it'll
cool.
come.
I wonder if that.
Like, I think it'll come. But
I wonder if that was
It's
just
the whole,
a matter
like,
of there was a load of
indies
indies at the time, and they've just gone out to them and kind of like that's what
yeah.
I think a lot of the indies have gone out of business as well. Not gonna lie. Like, all of those indies didn't do that well. Like, it was great for the platform, not for the people making the games. So it's like, I don't know. That's why you got like, what is it, Yacht Club with Shovel Knight, right? And even they're playing it safe. It's like, yep, porting. Yep. So yeah, that makes sense.
I was reading up on that, the poncho thing.
Oh god.
Did you read up? So basically, the developers of Poncho did this article on Gama Sutra, Gama Sutra. Basically accusing Rising Star Games, the publisher, of fucking them over.
Right.
Because
It was disguised as a post-mortem, but there was some really like
Nice stuff.
quite
like that.
ambitious. And basically, so Rising Star actually came out and defended themselves. And they were like, you signed a contract saying
Really?
you would get paid at these milestones, and then the day after you signed the contract, you came around and said, sorry, can we have some money now? Because you realised you didn't have any money.
Yeah.
Like,
I love it when their gloves are off like that.
Yeah.
And no, everyone's trying to be professional, and then no, hold on, lads. Get him off. So
it's shit, because I always feel like, because there's so much like, oh, you can be a bedroom coder now. And I feel like having sort of business nous shouldn't be like such a barrier to that. Yeah. But it is, and you need to be able to read contracts. And
well, that's why I've always hated Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Because it's like you need to know how to handle what
Manage
budget
the project,
before you're asking for millions of dollars or whatever.
Yeah.
But I need to talk to you really, because on Friday, like 4 a.m, it was a little bit later than that. After the presentation, like the Nintendo presentation, I tweeted that Nintendo fucked it. You retweeted me calling me a cunt, right? And then later that same day,
hang on, it wasn't.
later that same day, admitted, like all throughout the day, you were going, no, this is fine.
Okay.
But what about having a voice
At
chat
that
through the
time
phone?
in the
That's
morning,
fine.
before more of the bad news had come out, you were a cunt to say that.
No, I wasn't. Did you see that launch lineup? I mean,
I'm
come
alright
on.
with that. I'm alright with that.
You're fine with the launch lineup.
No, I'm not fine with it. I can accept it.
So anyway, James and I were
And live with it.
Nintendo acceptable.
That's what they aim for. That's what they aim for.
James and I were in a WhatsApp group grinding him away, and I was thinking about midway through the day, I was thinking, how can I get him bang to rights here? How can I properly get Sean, right? And at lunchtime, I thought of the perfect question. I texted him, Sean, can you honestly say you're not disappointed with that presentation last night? And he said, no, I'm not disappointed with it. And I knew that had been eating away with him all day. By the end of the day...
The presentation.
I leave on. By the end of the day, actually, it was pretty shit, wasn't it? I said, right, now I want a public apology on Twitter. And he went, I'm not going to do that. You're scum.
No, it's good because I'm working up my Farley angle, you see. Series 2 now.
Trying to step on his turf.
Yeah.
I don't know. This morning I woke up a little bit over my anger because I was angry yesterday. I watched it. I was really disappointed.
The presentation, I genuinely fucking enjoyed it. I was like, right, brilliant, I'm well up for this. And then it was just, as the day went on, more things came out and sort of chipped away at it.
The breaking point with that was when we found out that the virtual console game you get for free is for 1 month.
It's just for 1 month.
And you were like, nah, they'll never do that. Yeah. That's impossible. That's just too stupid.
That's a really weird one for me, because that is very much like, that's just Nintendo not ruining the value of their back catalog, right? Which is entirely sensible. But
at the same time,
against what Sony and Microsoft offer.
Yeah, but then again, it's this weird. I do have an odd point of view. It's just like I don't really know anyone who's benefited from that,
really,
except Rocket League.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's brilliant as a consumer. I love it.
Yeah.
And as someone who's like, I don't want to devalue the things I'm trying to sell. It's really bad.
Yeah, because I've said this before. It's like, as a consumer, I feel this is too good for someone to not be getting fucked over. Do you know? Like,
yes, it's 100%. Like 100%. It's crazy.
But yeah, so
that doesn't make what Nintendo. It's
when I woke up this morning, I was a little bit over my anger. And I was thinking, look, it's a Nintendo console, it's going to have Mario, it's going to have fantastic games on it, I'm going to have to buy it anyway, because it's a kid. And so I should stop being this angry. I think my anger came from the fact that when I saw the initial launch video, or, sort of the reveal video, I was thinking, Nintendo are changing, and I mean, when you look at that console, it looks smart. It looks like it's trying to be like a nice product to buy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's hard to say, it don't look like a toy. Yeah. And it looks like, hold on, Nintendo are going to learn from this. They haven't done anything for a year. They're going to have this lineup prepared. This is going to be the start of new Nintendo. They're going to learn from their mistakes, and not even mistakes, but they're going to, where they've fallen short in previous consoles, they're going to bring it back in line. It doesn't have to be as powerful. I don't care about that stuff. I want Nintendo consoles on a console that acts like a console should do in 2016, 2017, whatever. And then the presentation on Friday, there was so much of it just going, like, when you say something about Nintendo Online and people go, yeah, but Nintendo knows. I thought this was going to be the console where that just wasn't acceptable.
Nintendo IDs, you can see it all sort of coming, can't you?
Even if it's not Nintendo IDs, it's like chatting to your mates through your phone. Sean makes the point that that's not going to be a problem, and I understand what he's saying, and to an extent I agree with that point. But what I'm saying is, why is that?
Why do it?
Why
I honestly think
why not
it's
just say to people, just use Skype?
I think
exactly.
No, I think it's literally so they didn't have to put another audio jack on the Joy-Con.
Who cares?
Because but then those things are doing quite a lot of battery as well. I don't know. That's the only excuse I can think of.
What I found interesting
Come on.
They're so tied into they don't want anyone talking to anyone near the whole sort of paedophile thing as well.
They're
extremely worried.
I get that, but then like, kids have PlayStations, they have Xboxes, they all have parental controls. This has parental controls. Like, turn voice chat off for the kids. It's easy.
Just turn it off at account level.
That is literally a slide in those parental controls.
I think you're right. I think it could possibly be down to battery life more than anything else. The solution to that is finding a really easy way to charge your batteries, not remove voice chat.
Or it's 2017, just put fucking Bluetooth in it.
Well, that's it, isn't it?
It's got like an NFC reader as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
So why not?
I assume it has Bluetooth. I don't know how the controllers communicate with the main unit.
See, Dave, you said that you were expecting this was going to be better. Do you remember that show that we did when they first revealed the Switch?
Yeah.
And I was the one who was incredibly pessimistic about it.
Right.
What has happened on Friday was pretty much what I was expecting was going to happen. Why I was so pessimistic about it.
James,
this is why I get to feel happy this time.
Right, no, yeah, but this is the difference, right?
Go on.
I've seen stuff that's been announced and shown off to us, and it's disappointed me.
Yeah.
You just go, well, it's probably going to be
because
shit.
I was expecting it because of the last couple of years.
If you say that about everything, you'll be right every now and then. It doesn't mean that you knew it was coming.
I've been saying this about Nintendo for a long time.
You've been saying it about Sony and Microsoft as well.
It's complete rubbish.
Yes, you have.
That is complete rubbish.
The Kinect's going to be shit.
Never.
You're right.
Yeah, I was right about that as well. Yeah, exactly.
Again, it's like Kinect's dead. It's not dead.
If
not
you saw
yet.
the way that
and then when it died,
Yeah.
then you can now say that Kinect's dead. You don't see the difference.
No. If you see the way that Nintendo have been behaving for the last 2 years or whatever, it was obvious this was going to.
Yeah, but when you saw that,
I mean, I hoped that you were right, and this was going to be like a new start thing, and you had all the games on mobile and that kind of thing. But then you see the way that they treated the Wii U over last year and the 3DS and how things were going.
But this is it. I thought they were treating the Wii U like that because they were going to make this not have all this
the
shit.
fact that there's no games last year is because they were working on tons of stuff.
I was so sure that there was happening.
I think this is going to be a ridiculous year 2 for it. Genuinely, I think like year 2 price cut and just all of those first party games like that. They're literally not sat there doing nothing, and they've come out with. Like, I'm just excited because there's a new IP that genuinely looks brilliant. Like, I was watching some of the streams of that; it looks awesome.
Well, the punch thing,
arms, genuinely looks really good. I was like, looks like We Punch Out or whatever it was, and then actually no, it's like this fully fledged, really well.
What's been bothering me is everyone's like, oh, there's a bit more to it than Wii Boxing. Mate, Wii Boxing, right?
Was really.
You know, on all the Wii Sports games, it had like a little line graph showing your current level. On Wii Boxing, I got mine off the top of the screen. Right, that can be done. That game has depth.
I played it like twice. It's all about bowling, man, and we all know that, and we all know that.
America 8 Deluxe. You'll also be able to try brand new Nintendo franchises.
Let's hear the cheers for this one.
Switch.
All very, not many. The cheers are getting worse. Arms did alright.
Titles from our third-party partners.
Let's hear.
Please be aware that it is allowed within the venue, but there may be some restrictions on select titles. Please speak to a member of the Nintendo Switch staff team for further information.
There's no way I'm talking to those people. Sean, don't make me talk to absolutely
enjoy your time here today at the Nintendo Switch UK premiere, and we hope that you will look forward to the upcoming launch of Nintendo Switch.
Sonic Mania.
Well, I mean, hold on, there was a queue here a minute ago. Get up, leave off. Alright, this is fucking over. Start windmilling, Sean. Yeah, we are. Well, excuse me. I'm in. Where are we going, Sean? Where are we going?
I want to get
What do you want to do?
Got to get all the 1-2 switches, right?
Right, okay. Do you want to do that now then?
I reckon.
Well, they're going Zelda. Let them go. I could not give a shit about Zelda. Let's jump in then. Let's do it. Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so we're out of the London Switch. What are they calling it? What's the wording are they using? Premiere. Let's go around the table. I'm David Turner. I'm sitting next to James Farley.
Hello.
Andrew Smith from Spilt Milk Studios.
I've not even started drinking yet. What is this?
I've seen a lot of Nintendo and it has slowly decayed my brain. Andrew, hello.
Hello.
Captain Toss.
Yeah, that's me on Twitter.
From Twitter.com. Sean Bell is here, of course. He hasn't ironed his shirt. Joe Skrebels.
Hello.
Do you prefer IGN or Chat Very Good?
IGN.
I think most people do. And we have Chazzy. Now, do you go by Chazzy?
Not anymore.
Right.
Not anymore. It's Mark Reay from Honourable Mentions.
Honourable Mentions, a show that you should definitely check out. I was on it. Check that one out. It's the best one so far. Boys, we've just come out. We've seen a lot of Switch stuff. I'm interested to hear. I think we should. What's up, James?
Nothing. You said we've seen a lot of stuff, but you know.
Go on. We haven't seen a lot of that. I mean, there was a fair amount there.
There was some stuff there.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Right, okay, so I think we should probably start with Sean. He loves a bit of Nintendo. I mean, what are you thinking? Because your journey's been quite interesting.
Yeah, let's recap. So, got up first thing for the presentation. Really enjoyed it, like genuinely. Like, obviously the release schedule was a bit sparse, a bit. But I was like, yeah, do you know what? It still looks like a lot of fun. I'm in. And then after heated discussions with James and Dave, it was like all yesterday. It was just like more little bits of slightly shit news kept coming out, and just slowly just chipping away at the
Have you seen
confidence.
Pink Floyd's The Wall? Like, that was essentially Sean's day, where he was building up blocks and we smashed it the fuck down.
And of all things, the real kicker was when was it GameSpot who said that they think that Zelda was actually running worse on the Switch than the Wii U. And I was like, do you know what? I think that's it.
Yeah.
I don't know why. But
I'm always really sort of cautious about stuff like that.
Yeah.
How have they worked that out?
Well, it's anecdotal and it's based on
GameSpot.
Oh, do you think Tom Moore signed off on that? Is that what you're saying? Absolutely.
I mean, yeah, it's pre-release code and it's anecdotal. So yeah, I mean, other like Eurogamer said, oh no, we think it's smoother on the Switch. So whatever, no, that's fine. But yeah, so yesterday was like by the evening. I was like,
I'm tearing down the Luigi posters.
I'm still getting one, but yeah,
Crying.
The best bit with that was when we were talking about that virtual console game, like one a month. And then I said, apparently you only get to play it for 1 month. And Sean was like, no, they'd never do that.
They've just worded it badly. It's fine. It's
just badly worded. It's like,
and then they came out and confirmed, yes, you get it for a month, and then give it back, please.
Yeah, there was that, and then there was confirming that unless you buy the charge grip, there's no way of charging the Joy-Con while you're using it on your TV.
Yeah,
stuff like that.
It was kind of similar to the Xbox One thing, where I mean, I was in exactly the same situation as you, where I watched the presentation for the Xbox One, announcement, and I thought, okay, maybe I can still get on board with this, and then the stuff that was drip feeding out of it was like, oh my god, what are they actually doing?
It was the same thing, wasn't it? Because it was like the presentation happened and was good, and then people started going, oh, hang on, does that mean this, or and this, and this? And kind of going, sorry.
Okay, so we've spoken about this already. Fast forward to today, as you're going in, what were you hoping to get out of what you
I was just hoping to be like fully convinced, or more convinced than I was yesterday.
Are you more convinced than you were yesterday?
Yeah, absolutely.
And what changed that?
To start with, like none of us, apart from you, played Zelda. Is that right?
Yes, yeah.
I mean, so you played it.
I have played it before.
What did you play? What, on the Wii U version?
I've played the Wii U version fully, and I've had like a short go on the Switch.
Yeah,
very short, so not enough to.
When you say fully,
well, I played the full 20.
Oh right, I was about to say. I mean, I've finished it, guys.
But I was basically the queue was massive, and I'm already pretty convinced it's going to be ace, so I wasn't too concerned about playing it today. But I wanted to have a go onto the Switch because that looks like that's supposed to be the Wii Sports of the Switch, right?
Yeah.
And yet, what we saw, like it could have been, but like from the trailer and stuff, it was like this looks pretty fun, but has it got legs? Having now actually played a few of the games, depends how many more games there are to it.
Yeah.
But the ones we played today are really excellent.
Well, there are some good ones, and there's some games that there are games that I think that I definitely play coming home and having a drink with my mates and getting it out, whatever.
Yeah.
But there are also games that don't feel like games, and that actually I'm going to do this once and go, oh, that's clever.
So the balls in the box one. Like it is so impressive, but it's barely a game.
Like, imagine coming home from the pub.
Lads.
They're on FIFA, HDMI 2. Have a bang on this.
Okay, boys. How many balls did you think is in there? 3. You're correct.
That sounds like something.
To explain, you've probably seen the video Nintendo did where they, so each Joy-Con has got this HD rumble thing where the example they gave is that if it can mimic the feel of like a glass with some ice in it, and you can tell how many blocks of ice are in the glass, which just sounded like shit, didn't it? Like sounded interesting, but I don't really believe it. This is a game where the Joy-Con simulates a little wooden box, and there are some balls in it, or some ball bearings or whatever. And you can tip it around, and the balls roll around inside the box, and you've got to guess how many balls are in there.
Sean, you're making it sound really...
No, I know. There's no other way, is there? There's no other way.
I do the same with a box, like, I just do it myself. But now it's spent 180.
You've got some marbles in a cardboard box. You know how many balls there are.
I'll get someone else to put the balls in.
Get a third party. The thing you're impressed by is that they've filled in the middleman of the person who puts the balls in the box.
James, I mean, how many games can you say that about? Well, I just do that myself. The idea is that it shows off the technology. The technology is pretty impressive.
Point is,
but it's
it
not
does
a game,
actually
though,
work.
is it? I mean, you wouldn't spend like 50 quid to like play that, would you?
No, and they're not asking you to. I mean, that's just
I'm asking 50 quid for it.
And that's all that's on the disc, is it? You are the worst. So basically, it's got stuff that looks like it could be fun, stuff that is just throwaway, you do once and not go back to, which is fine. I don't understand how this is being sold separately.
It should be packaged.
I mean,
absolutely.
It shows off what these controllers can do, and one of the best things about the presentation on Friday morning was that there was a lot of surprises that came with those controllers. I mean, when we first saw it, we just assumed that they were standard little side bits that you create a controller and you play games on. All of a sudden, it's got all these little cool things in them. And I think Rumble HD is excellent, and what that 1-2 switch does is show that actually you're going to feel things when playing games that you've never felt before, and I think that's cool, right? That's
physically rather than emotionally.
The jealousy.
Yeah, Last Guardian's not coming out there. As a separate game, I'm not too sure. It's not like there's any graphics going on.
I was thinking about this. It's surprising that it's not packaged up, as far as we know, like a WarioWare kind of a thing. But at the same time, I reckon like a tournament mode or a party mode, I wouldn't be surprised if there was one. All we've seen are singular demos. Like what did anyone press the back button and find out what the menu looked like and all this stuff?
No, that is true.
And we've been talking about it, and they have said like there will be many more games than the 6 we've shown globally, and you're like, yeah, okay, that is good sign, but
also I don't
there's
believe
no metric for many more. It could be anything they want.
I mean, if they come out and said no, there are 200 games, you go, okay, all right, fair enough, serious package. But I've been very surprised, So what else did you play? What did you go into?
So we played Snippy Clips. I keep thinking I'm getting the name wrong.
I'm really interested. Everyone was telling me you got to play that, and by the time we'd sort of Andy and I decided to go and check it out, the queue was way too big.
Okay. That's because me and James made it possible.
It looks like Doodle Jump.
It does look a bit like Doodle Jump. It's really hard to explain, and because I did such a good job with the box thing, I'm going to do it. Basically, you've each got a little character, and you can, by sort of overlaying over each other, you can cut bits out of each other.
So each character has jump, like rebuild itself, or chop out of the other character if they're standing over it. So if you put like you're basically like a dick shaft. If you put like the bell end on someone, you'll cut a little hole out. That kind of thing. Right.
You found how to explain it.
50% of us have got one.
But like, and you sort of initially like, oh, okay, so like sometimes I need to just be made a bit thinner to fit through something, or
get on the tube lid.
But then it got to the point where it's like, right, we've got to pick up a ball, like a basketball. So it was like, right, cut me so that I've got like a scoop. And it was like you're creating like tools out of each other.
I still don't understand what the goal is. The goal of the game.
So it's different things each level.
So what it reminds me of is Scribblenauts, in the same sense that it's like you have a very obvious goal, and it's a single screen, and you've just got to find any way you can of doing it. So it's like there's a basketball and there's a hoop.
I get you.
Right. So once you finish that, you move on to the next one. It's like sharpen this massive pencil and that kind of thing.
Is it the sort of game that can come out on other consoles, or is it something specific?
Like it totally could. But it does sort of sell the like, and you've already got 2 little controllers and that's fine. But like if that was on the PS4, I'd have to cough up another 45 quid for a DualShock.
So from what I've heard, it was a British indie game called Friendships until last year, and then at some point Nintendo has just gone, we'll have that, and it disappeared and came back as Snipper Clips. So essentially it's become a second-party indie game, which is really, I don't think that's ever happened before. So that's kind of amazing by itself.
Didn't Microsoft used to do that a lot in the 360 years, where they bought up indie studios and started putting them. I might be wrong. I might have made that up.
No, like certainly when the golden age of Xbox Live Arcade, there was a lot of indie stuff that was banned.
And do you know what? I'd love that so much more if I didn't know that once the game was out, they'd probably just completely dump them and destroy everyone's lives. But let's see how Nintendo deal with that.
Basically, so me and James played this. I don't know how long we were allowed, like 10 minutes.
It was quite a long time, it felt like.
So we only completed 1 level?
So we repeatedly failed to sharpen.
We were terrible at this, but we were just pissing ourselves the whole time. Snipper Clips.
Oh right, okay.
We were just laughing the entire time. We apparently had an audience.
A crowd formed. And we're groaning mostly.
We had we started to develop a strategy for how we were going to get through it, and it didn't really work.
The best bit of this watching was they finally worked out that you don't actually you can complete this level without. I've done it. You complete this level without chopping anything out of each other. So they made the pencil fall down. It landed on their heads, and they essentially formed a little bridge between each end of the pencil. And Shaw goes, okay, so we've got it on our heads finally. We just need to run it to the right. So when I go 3, 2, 1 on 1, we both run to the right. And genuinely, the whole crowd went silent. And Shaw goes 3, 2, 1. They run, and there's no friction, so they just run, and the pencil just falls. It was fantastic.
I felt really bad because the woman who was showing us how to play the game, she was like,
song. So
initially she'd every time we do something, she's like, yeah, woo, like this, and then she just gave up after a bit.
They're paid to do that.
It says even more if you're paid to do it.
Yeah, she's still couldn't be asked.
That's a good point. No, I want a pay rise. Okay, cool. So that sounds good.
Yeah.
Wait, is that launch?
Yeah.
Good, finally.
Needs it. Was it launch or is it March?
I don't know, it wasn't on the list.
Oh god, oh god. There will be much more months to come for this. Okay, so while you were doing that, Andrew and I started on 1-2 Switch.
Yep.
We did the quick draw stuff. That was what we were talking about, get home from a pub. That could be genuinely really good. Basically, you face each other, you don't even look at TV screen. They shout fire, you've got to point and shoot as quick as you can. Not only have you got to be quick, you've got to be accurate, because the Joy-Con can detect what angle you're firing at and stuff like that. And you get like a little simple graphic at the end that's showing you how quickly you did it and where you shot.
Yeah, that's like hundredths of seconds.
Yeah, really good.
Amazing.
Yeah, twice we were 0.001 out from each other. Yeah. It was insane. But then, what was the second 1-2 Switch game we did? I'm trying to remember. It wasn't.
We did the dance, the pose one.
Oh, we did the pose one first. Yeah, that. I mean, one and done. Yeah, it works. It was a bit fun, and it was a bit daunting when we first started doing it. And there was because everyone was walking in as we were started on this demo, and it just looked like there was hundreds of people just queuing up to watch us. That was a bit embarrassing. But then we went over and played Arms, which was probably the biggest game there, and what I mean by that was on the most screens. It was every
12 or 13 screens.
And I'm not convinced. I like it. I like what it's trying to do. It's if we boil it down, it's the Wii boxing game, right? However, they've added, there's obviously a lot more to it, and I was surprised by how much there was to it as well. Like when you select your fighter, but you also select what arms they have, and that makes a big difference in what you can and cannot do. And it obviously feels a lot more fun than Wii boxing, because it's not trying to simulate the movement of your hands. It's reacting to inputs that you're doing with your hands.
There's no like one-to-one work away with this.
If I want my character to do this, I do this, and you're essentially controlling. A couple of games, and I wasn't really grabbed by it. Andrew, you liked it though, right?
I really liked it, yeah. It might have been because I beat you 2-1, but...
I beat Joe and still nothing. Just had to get that on the record.
Really liked it. I think, like, I didn't play Splatoon back when it got announced. I played it when it came out because I'm not special, but I got the same impression having seen it yesterday, just in amongst all the announcements. I was like, I'm paying attention. It's a new IP, right? It's Nintendo. They don't do this very often, or it seems like more often now. And it just looked really polished, really complete, and it was like, okay, I'll give it a chance. And yeah, I've completely fallen for it, I think.
Really?
Splatoon's a really good comparison as well, because it feels like what Splatoon did for shooting games, which is like taking it, twisting it, and making it like both accessible and different. It's doing the same thing for fighting games. It gives you a different position, like a viewpoint on that, and a different input, but the fundamentals are all still there. You've still got that kind of rock, paper, scissors, like trying to work out what they're going to do and counter it. And
that's what we were saying in the queue. I was saying it's probably the most complete 3D fighting game in that respect, because other games have tried to do it, but it's just moving the camera, but you are actually throwing a punch to feint, dodging, moving around, and coming in at different angles. It's the perspectives and angles you're coming in at. They're just so different.
I think what I mean, it's way too early to judge it anyway, but I'd like to know what the rules are and what you can and cannot do and what it's detecting and what it isn't detecting, because there were times where I had my arms in the block position and my character wasn't blocking. However, that might be something to do with the game where I'm trying to block where I can't.
You can like hurt your arms, and then you can also break your arms and stuff like that. So like they come back eventually, but all that kind of
so it would be brilliant, because there were times where I was playing it, I was thinking, oh, it's just not responding, and then afterwards I'm thinking, actually, there might be a reason why I wasn't able to
can actually go through that card.
But yeah, I mean, for what it was fun enough. There was nothing there that made me go, actually, I want to play more of this, which is unlike some of the other games I played.
I mean, it's weird, isn't it? Because with sort of really heavily competitive stuff like this, there's that sort of mercurial issue of whether or not it'll develop a scene and whether or not it becomes like an esports staple.
No way.
But, like,
no chance.
That's surely what they're aiming for.
This is what we were saying again.
There's no way. Emotion sensor game.
Yeah, I reckon. I don't know. I'd need to play it more, but I felt like we've all been talking about how great everything was just as a game, and never have we said, oh, it was a bit iffy. Like, there's a bit of wobble on the detection or whatever like that. And I know that
it wasn't detecting your movement when you were flicking the punches out.
There's none of the Skyward Sword. Oh, I didn't actually move. It's chopping away.
James, what do you think? Esports?
I don't know. I don't really see it as being
esports correspondent James Bond.
I'd absolutely not be that. But it's. I know. I mean, I played it with Sean. He beat me, which was annoying.
The second round, you absolutely trashed me.
It's true, but the third round, I totally, I lost it. But I can't really see it. I can't really see it as an esport. It didn't seem there was enough there.
I just don't know how. You've got to be so. I don't know. In my head, games you've got to have so much precision, and I don't think you get that with motion games.
So I felt that there was precision, like you were saying when we were fighting, that you were throwing out a punch and it curving it, but not curving it in just one direction. You could have it like two directions, so you could feint someone.
I clean missed you with a boomerang arm, and then I was like, and I didn't expect to do anything, but it came back and twatted you right in the face. I was like, brilliant.
We were going to talk about that later. I'm out of order. I need to play more of it. It's so hard to judge any game in that, not only in that setting, in the 3 minutes you get to play it or whatever.
And looking at the package as well, like, it is really weird. Like we were saying with the 1-2 Switch, and I think this particularly, thinking back to how Splatoon debuted, and how everyone was like, well, cool, but is it enough to support a game? And then the amount of content they did with that, I mean, it's incredible. And like, they're not going to just not. That's how they're going to handle all this stuff, right? So I'm just really excited about seeing what they do with that new characters arena.
The only other problem I think with it is because the only way you're going to be able to play this really is going to be is online, isn't it? Like competitively.
Yeah, because unless you spend 75 quid
exactly.
Either that, or at least if you know someone else with the Switch. I think that's one thing that I really do like about the Switch, and the original concept. That's what I do like, is that I can just take my Switch and we can play multiplayer games against each other.
Not even that. It's so little hassle to take two Joy-Cons to someone's house.
It's true.
Like, put them in one back pocket each if you were a luxury.
I was going to say, yeah. Well, you had something on my way to Berg.
As for the hardware itself, I mean, we didn't get to see too much of it. A lot of it was behind glass cabinets and bits and pieces like that. We did play Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and that we played that on the handheld mode, right? So the Joy-Cons where you decide on the screen or whatever. I really like the design and the feeling of this console. Like I think the materials they use just feel great, like quality, which is something you don't really expect Nintendo to do. I mean, run your finger over the top of a Wii U, it is disgusting. Like, genuinely, that plastic is the thinnest, glossiest, shittest plastic I've ever felt.
It's because you didn't go for the premium one day.
It's because you rubbed your finger over it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Oh, greasing.
No, but even the pad, the way you know how things are built, and you know what costs more than other things. You know,
definitely premium.
This feels premium. It does feel quality, and I was really surprised by how good the blue and the red look, because it don't do well in the.
So neon. I think it looks terrible on the console itself.
Really?
I just don't understand why you can't just get just blue or just red.
Because there's like a girl hand and a boy hand.
If you want just blue or just red, buy the console and then one of the other sides. Oh no, it'll probably be the same.
I thought they looked terrible.
What they're doing. But anyway,
I was going to say, I find a mate who also got the red and blue and do a swap with them, but
because they don't have the 4 little lights on, right? So on the Wii, you could find which player you were.
Yeah.
I guess it's just.
I suppose that helps. But I think they look fine. Like, not as bad. There's no way I'd buy one, but like, you go for the space grey version blatantly. But yeah, I mean the screen looks fantastic.
Gorgeous.
And I have not. My problems with the Switch have nothing to do with the hardware. There's a few sort of gripes that we all know that we can look past, right? Because it's Nintendo, and the games they produce are worth it. Worth looking past the bullshit. It's just that lineup of games, and Andrew pointed out to me today, we were given cards to walk around and stamp. When you play a game, you get a stamp, and if you fill up your book, you get a pin badge or something, right? One of those stamps was to play Mario Odyssey, and that's what we pointed out, and it turned out.
I think it was just watching the trailer in that.
It was just watching the trailer, and you sat down, watched the trailer, and then got your stamp for watching the trailer.
Brilliant.
And that kind of, you should not have to ask people to do that on your premiere. You know what I mean? Like it's just we've got one more square left, guys. Can anyone get on YouTube? No, I mean it is a problem for people that were looking to get on board day one. Right. I've got no doubt that by the end of the year I will own one of these consoles. A lot of the games we play today I would not hesitate buying. 1-2 Switch, if it gets cheaper then I'm back up for it. ARMS I'd definitely give a go. Mario Kart 8 is a must buy because although it is just Mario Kart 8, all the extra stuff plus being able to play it on that system wherever I want it would be, a huge benefit. And then you've got Zelda and stuff. It's gonna have games. It's just what I wanted Nintendo to do was come out swinging, and they just didn't get there.
Yeah, it's like if say like the last year for the Wii U had been alright, and then they did this. You go, well, alright, transition period, it's a bit weird. It was a bit sooner than we thought, etc., etc. But they did nothing last year. They really did nothing last year.
I was talking to a developer who isn't developing for it but has been like around that scene and was saying essentially he thinks the secrecy around this console has been so intense that even some of the second parties just didn't get a chance to start making a game before people knew what it was, which is just nuts. It's just that it's been so like bubble wrapped within Nintendo that it's just like nope. That's like you just start when we start.
Because like that release schedule that currently looks quite barren. If that was just peppered with cool indie stuff, that would help
cool
so
indie
much.
stuff, or they clearly don't care about porting Wii U stuff over to the Switch, right? We know that the Wii U didn't sell too well, and they want to push the Switch. I mean, port more stuff and make sure it's there for day one. Like Mario
surely the excuse for porting something like Mario Kart is like you say, get it out day one. It's like it's relatively easy to do.
But also, I mean, all like those like new Super Mario Brothers games, they could just bundle them together, stick them on there.
Oh yeah, exactly, all that stuff. But anyway, What have we mentioned? Is there a game we played that we haven't mentioned?
We played Splatoon.
Splatoon 2, yeah.
Oh, what was Splatoon 2 like?
It's
Did it
more
feel any
Splatoon.
different?
It's
Really
Should not be a
identical.
sequel.
no.
It feels like an expansion pack, if anything.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Because that's what a lot of people were saying, and I was thinking, well, are they being too harsh, or is it just
No, it's really
legitimately?
just Splatoon.
I mean, yeah,
It's, you know.
and I'm okay with that because I really like Splatoon. But I'm not like if you weren't sold on the first one, unless this one's much better at getting you in games with your friends. The first one fucked that for quite a while.
Well, here's a question. So again, the wording around the online stuff has been very weird. That the online is coming towards the end of the year. Autumn, is it?
Oh god.
Via the app.
In Europe,
Right?
yeah,
That's what we're hearing.
Yeah.
Splatoon's coming in summer.
Yeah. so
What's going
the
to
deal?
happen?
Mario Kart's out in late April.
See, so Andrew and I were talking about this. I think the premium online stuff is coming towards the end of the year. I think the console will launch, and you can take it and play
There
online.
was something about not having to pay for this for online.
There was,
until
yeah.
a certain point, right?
Too full. That's what they said.
What they said was that it was coming. It was going to launch, I think, straight away in like America, like the Americans and stuff like that.
Yeah, but you're talking about that app.
Yeah, but Europe's not getting any like multiplayer until.
They haven't said that. That's not what they said. No,
what they did say.
No, because what they've said is that they want to use the app is for the premium and paid for, online stuff. What I'm thinking is that once they launch that app, that's when they go into the premium side of things. They're asking money for it. Until that point, you can still play online multiplayer.
Yeah.
But you can't, once Autumn kicks in, you get the app, and then that's how you start playing. Because it makes no sense for them to launch Splatoon without multiplayer.
So you reckon it's going to be like multiplayer but no functions, like as in no like social functions?
Yeah, exactly.
Just be
Basically, to be honest, isn't far from what Splatoon is.
It'll be the Wii U stuff.
Yeah, but no
Until they launch
communications, that
Yeah,
sort of thing,
yeah.
But then why bother releasing it with that? Because that's is that just going to hurt it?
What do you mean?
Well, why bother releasing Splatoon without? Because one of the problems that a lot of
play it.
I don't know. One of the problems that a lot of people had with Splatoon when it first came out was the fact that you couldn't do any of that stuff. Like you couldn't talk to people. You couldn't
But
organise stuff.
they've already been told that it's coming. Sorry, it's not here at launch, but it's coming.
As you said,
We've been told that.
They back their
Does
games
general
well.
consumer know that?
So is it a fact
Mate, if
that
you're
they're
buying
gonna roll
Splatoon, you know about video games. There's no doubt about it. You don't see casuals picking up Splatoon. I've not heard someone at work go, "Hey, you heard about this Splatoon, bro?"
That's probably what Nintendo wants, though. Like, they want more people to play this. They don't want just the 11 million people that bought Wii.
Yeah, I know. But,
you?
and again, I see what you're saying. They're aiming wrong, but yeah, I don't know what to say to you. I don't work for them.
Can I bring up a major issue I have with the hardware?
Yes.
They've gotten rid of the Wii U's best feature, which is the TV remote button. Genuinely
that is pretty
changed my
bad.
life.
It was very useful, actually. I thought
It was fucking incredible.
I mean,
I can't believe not everyone has done that.
I'm happy selling my Wii U, but I'm keeping that fucking thing. Just
enormous TV remote.
I mean, I assume like most TVs. I mean, when was the last time you bought a TV? I'm not fronting you out here. I'm just asking.
3 years ago.
So you probably got the app. You got an app on your phone, right?
Not for my one. We have got a TV in the house.
I think it's probably a sensible thing to do if it's going to cost too much. But they do have IR blasters at the top of the
On the Joy-Con, yeah.
on the Joy-Cons, right? Because that's what I was thinking when they said that IR blasters at the top. I was thinking, well, TV remote. Then that was the first thing I thought.
But it's on the
It's so that you
it's
can
on the
play.
bottom though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
So
so-
if you use a remote, you'd have to like flip it.
It's so that you can play touchscreen games on the TV. That's like so that when you plug the thing into the dock,
Yeah.
you then have a controller.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
But doesn't it can do
hot dog simulation.
Yes, and that because it can do sort of very basic shape detection as well.
Of course,
apparently.
yeah.
Sort of Kinect style.
I don't think that Nintendo probably care about the TV that much.
No, I'm saying that there might be some cool. I mean, this is Nintendo, so I would hope they will have good ideas. But yeah, like I can't think of anything that would use that. I mean, the example they gave is that you could do, it can tell the difference. So if you put your hand in front of it, you could do rock paper scissors. And
I'll tell you what it is. There's a rock paper scissors 1-2 switch game.
Oh, right.
That's what it's going to be.
Of course, yeah.
Do you now have like a shadow puppet like trainer? Like brain training?
Oh mate, that would be genuinely good.
Yeah.
That I'd be bang up for that.
Did you ever see when they put in the patents for those things, the original idea they had?
No.
It's fucking hilarious, because I was rubbishing the idea that any of this stuff would be in it the day before on a podcast.
IGN.com for the latest news.
Yeah. So they always mention the gesture control thing, but the original idea was that it would have a mini projector on the side, and it would project an image that you would then
onto your hand.
Yeah.
See, we talked about this in the computer game show, but they mentioned at me about it. Yeah.
What?
That was one of the things that was one of the rumours.
Oh, yeah.
And
The
then you
projector?
And then you went crazy about it and said, this is rumours, I don't want to talk about this.
Could we?
Sorry, James. Has it got a projector?
We don't know it.
You literally project it.
I are.
It projects on
But
motion.
like, the game the kind of fake pattern game they've made up could technically still be in it, which is originally you were holding the thing, and the guy hits a little baseball out, and you catch it and then throw it back at him. Do you know what? That's hilarious to me. I would love that.
Yeah, I like the idea of things projecting through by holding in front of the controller, but I know something else that's really good for that: a torch. Just hold a torch up to a blank wall. I do it with Harry all the time. It blows his fucking mind. Was there any other games that we played that we kind of...
the Safecrack and...
The Safecrack was part of 1-2 Switch. That I did not...
I really enjoyed that yesterday.
Really? Yeah. I mean, I just didn't feel much... It didn't feel responsive to me. I quite liked some of the...
It lost on my hand a couple of times. I was using that safe cracking thing.
Yeah, it was hard working hands. I think it don't work for hard working hands.
Yeah.
So you liked it, Andrew? Is that right?
It was alright. If I'm honest, I couldn't fill a thing.
It wasn't even on.
But I think that was it. I mean, there wasn't that many games on show.
There's a big wall of third-party stuff that none of us played.
And I couldn't really get to be honest. It wasn't brilliantly organised, but then to be fair, it wasn't a proper, sort of expo-style event. So I don't, that happens.
They put on free food.
They did put on free food and drink.
Just the only reason I'm still pre-ordering this week.
Although, how bad is that? They had a bar there.
That's taken a tenner off your pre-order.
They had a bar.
Saved me money.
They had a bar there, Sean, with jugs of orange juice on it.
Absolutely fine.
Seriously, we came into that event and you immediately made a beeline for the bar to see if
the relief when he was like, oh thank God, there's a bar.
There's a bar, and he was like, yeah, sorry, no alcoholic drinks, and you were just like, oh, you look deflated.
Fuck's sake. What I can take away from this, from what I've, I didn't pre-order. I don't know if I've said this. I woke up early on the Friday to pre-order. I didn't pre-order after watching what was announced. I come away from this knowing, being happy, not... there was a point where I was thinking, actually, I probably should have pre-ordered this. But then, when you calm down a little bit afterwards, you think, you know what? The hardware I'm really happy with, and I can't wait to own one. However, I'm happy with the fact that I'm going to wait until December. That's when there'll be games that I want, and I can, pick up then. But any problems I had with the hardware itself, that's proved me wrong, really, because all the cool new bits that are in the Joy-Cons, that all works, that feels great. I really like the design, I really like the feel of it, and that screen with those Joy-Cons either side feels great to play on. That game of Mario Kart we played was brilliant. So I'm a lot more confident.
Just thinking of it as a really nice handheld, it's like, oh yeah, shit, this is great.
That's what everyone's been saying, and I agree with that. If you think of it as a really cool handheld rather than a home console, then I think you'll appreciate it.
But I was amazed at how great that picture looked when it was scaled up on a big telly though. I wasn't expecting it to look that good. It was really crisp.
Did they confirm what's actually in the dock to...
There's nothing in the
There's nothing in the dock.
It's just
But
power.
because it's plugged in. Of course,
It can afford to waste more power.
It goes into an extra power mode, like.
Of course it does.
I think did the dock have like a couple of USB ports?
On the side, there's 2 USB ports on the side.
Fine.
What could that be, James?
Stick your Joy-Con charger in that, I guess, if you've got another another 30 quid to throw at it. But
yeah, I assume once it's docked, it charges the Joy-Cons as well as the console, right?
Yeah, I assume you can just leave it docked and.
I mean, we're assuming these things, but they've surprised us a lot this week.
Yeah, making a lot of
So if you have your Joy-Cons in a grip, and will they stay charged?
No. You have to buy a charging Joy-Con grip.
Right, okay.
So is that the one that they were showing in the thing? Because in the little box, because I was looking at it, and the grip that they had, the only one, had a little mini USB slot at the top.
Then that was probably the charging one.
But that's
you have
not
to pay,
the one.
that's
You
not
don't
the
get a
one
grip.
No, the grip that you get is plastic.
Oh, okay. Right, okay, fair enough.
So how did
Not really.
Yeah.
Not really. Not really.
No, okay, it's not. But like at the same time, like I get it. Like I want Nintendo to do better every time, but every time they don't, and it's still fine because of the games. Do you know what I mean? It's like I refuse to get disappointed that there's a bit of a twist.
No, but you can.
It's like, really?
No, but you can turn around. Like as I was saying earlier, my biggest disappointment from the announcement on Friday was not the games, was not the price, was not any. It was looking at Nintendo and thinking, you can fucking smash this. If you come along and go Mario, Zelda, F-Zero, fuck off, you know, and just nail and iron all of these little things out. You could absolutely smash this.
Also, it's like listening to an England fan talking about Adam Lallana.
That's exactly what it's like. Yes. Sean's politely giggling. Oh yes, Lallana. Yes, is it? Sorry, Jay.
See, at that presentation on Friday, all I had to do at the end was just to show like a sort of a reel of stuff that, you know, perhaps it's not, obviously it's nowhere near ready yet, but they're definitely working on. Show some Smash Brothers, show some, I don't know, Metroid or something, you know.
That's not going to, but that's not going to change my opinion. As I'm saying, they could have absolutely smashed it, and they didn't. And it, like, you get angry at them for not doing it, but then you go, actually, I know I'm still going to get this console, and I still really love Nintendo, and I can't wait to play their games. Fine. But there's still that part of me that's getting fucked off that you can't find these
What concerns me about this, right, and I know that you're going to get annoyed about this again, is that it's it's great. No, because I don't know if I want to go over this again, because I'm just going to get annoyed and you're going to get annoyed, and it's this whole thing where people, every time like a new Nintendo console comes out, people say, I'm fine with it because as long as I get to play a couple of Nintendo games, that's fine. I'm fine with that.
Mario Tax,
which is fair enough. But if you look at like the Wii U did really bad. Like they must have burned through. I mean, I have no idea, but they must have burned through a lot of money they got from the Wii. So the reason I want this to be better is because I want there to be more games, like in the long term.
Yeah, no, I get that.
I want more people to buy this. I don't want just Nintendo fans to buy this and be like, oh, I've got my 5 games, I don't care about anything else. It's like, I want there to be more people to buy it, so then there's more games. Yeah, there's more like stuff. You know?
Alright, I've got an opinion. No.
I mean, like the whole FIFA thing was a bit embarrassing, wasn't it? Because it was weird that EA came out and all they had to say was, we're doing FIFA. Cheers. But as it turns out, they're also doing NBA as well.
But as it turns out, Eurogamer reported that it's probably going to be the 360 version of FIFA, which is embarrassing. It is.
Embarrassing. But like, obviously, but it is on a handheld. No, that's still. But it's still. No. But
what's your point there? It is on a handheld.
So like you would never have expected an up-to-date, top of the line FIFA on the Vita.
That's fair. But it's not on a handheld. This is being marketed as a hybrid. Yeah. You know what I mean? Not a handheld or a home console.
And it wouldn't stop. Like that's not going to make you go, oh yeah, it's on a handheld, so I'm not going to get the Xbox One version. Like that's never going to happen. Is it? Like,
no. And
win-win for you.
Not only that, it's that thing where I know it sounds stupid, but in my head, if Nintendo was able to turn around and go portable version of FIFA, portable version of COD, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, you can't really play online on the bus or whatever, but I think that would be enough to bring a lot more people in.
Do you reckon? Because I get the feeling that like FIFA and to a certain extent COD being what they are, no one wants to deviate from what they already have. Like, if they could have helped it, no one would have bought a PS4 for FIFA.
Yeah,
it's just that everyone did that. Like, that audience, on the whole, don't give a shit.
No, you're probably right.
Nintendo are hamstrung by having to be, across a load of different markets, a load of different types of gamer.
So are they now just saying? What do you think their audience is with this?
Well, I don't know what their audience is with it, but like the EA thing to me smacks of EA have nothing to lose by going, let's chuck out a version.
Absolutely.
Like they did with the Wii U. Like FIFA 13 came out, and then that
exactly. And for Nintendo, they get to go. Well, EA is technically now a launch partner.
Yeah.
They go on that big document with everyone else, which means other people come and do stuff. So it's prestige for the two of them, and then we see how it goes. And probably they'll just not release another FIFA game.
There was loads. I mean, where was Capcom? Like Capcom.
Remember Ultra Street Fighter 2?
Oh, yeah. Trying to forget.
In a fighting game with a character called Violent Ken, like everyone else is in.
Well, did you see the translated
Japanese page for that? So it's there's evil Ryu and there's violent Ken. But if you Google translate the Japanese page, it's brainwashed Ken, and the Ryu one is something like Ryu overcome by a wave of brutality or something like murderous intent. That was it.
Murderous intent Ryu.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think that would be funny.
I've seen the action figure now.
Yeah, exactly.
With eagle eyes.
I don't know. Like, I mean, people we know who really like fighting games are excited about that. That's worth pointing out. Like,
excited about what?
Ultra Street Fighter 2. That is a thing, apparently. That's like I just thought they'd be like, yeah,
better than
Street Fighter 2. Who cares now? But apparently they do. So.
I just think it's a while off before I pick one up, and I'm far less angry. I mean, I was less angry this morning, despite going into this thing. In fact, I'm more satisfied that I'm happy with the hardware, and I've got to wait for the software, and if that's what I've got to do, that's what I've got to do. As we've spoken about on the show millions of times about how there's this weird culture around people like us that's got to be there day one. If you're not there, then, oh my god, the game has turned up a day after launch day. I'm fucking furious. And maybe I need to just put that to one side for this, because I know I'm getting one. I'd get absolutely torn to pieces by my child if I didn't buy the new Mario machine, but I'm happy to wait until there's a new Mario out.
Out of interest, who has pre-ordered one here?
Yeah.
I have.
Yeah.
Okay, so
James has got 2 pre-orders.
Oh my god!
And he's still adamant that he's not buying one.
There are 6 Switches at this table of 6.
Do you know what he said to me on the train this morning? He said that this will probably be on the show earlier on, but what he said to me on the train this morning was, I would never order from Game. Where are your pre-orders?
One of them is from Game, but there's reasons for that. But yeah, I know. I'm still thinking because we'll cancel them anyway.
My logic is, and I've said this before, and I think you still think it's bollocks, but here we go. I don't think they're going to. I think when they drop the price, it'll be for Christmas and it'll be a bundle with Mario or whatever. And I think that's the right move. I know now I can't wait that long, so it may as well be now that I go.
Yeah, on the same note, I want the new Zelda. That's it.
Yeah.
I have to pay the.
Have you got a Wii U?
Yeah.
So why would you get? I mean, paying the premium for this console to play Zelda. I suppose when you're playing it on the move, that is a difference.
That is the thing.
Playing it in bed is a big deal.
How often are you going to do that? Like, is the thing.
I want to be able to take. I want to be able to take Zelda.
I would literally I would play that by my bed. When I go to bed, I can't go to sleep, and I'm pretty sure we're all the same. You don't go to bed and you don't go to sleep. You sit there on your phone or whatever. I would love to play a proper game like that.
Yeah. See, I mean, like I said, I do that already because I use remote play all the time on the Vita.
But I mean, it's not the same.
Well, no, it is the same,
there, it's all glitchy.
It's not glitchy
the
at
little
all.
sound
I don't know why
goes weird.
it's not glitchy. It's fine. It depends on what you're playing. Like if you're playing like something like The Walking Dead, which I played over.
Yeah, if you're trying to play Destiny,
Walking Dead is glitchy enough.
This man, right, has got some sort of weird relationship with technology where he can get it to do what he wants, no matter what.
Because it just works, doesn't it? I don't know what your problem is.
James Farley, technomancer.
James Farley. Apple fan. Like, he was going, oh yeah, when I go on the bus today, a little bit late, I'm just going to use my watch to get on. 4 times he had to swipe.
Once. Hey, how many times did you have to go to assistance for your card that didn't work?
I love this. It was the machine that didn't work anyway. I wasn't. And also, have you played The Last Guardian? Apparently, Trico did everything he wanted. Seriously, horseshit.
I'm Team Destiny. No, not Team Destiny. Team Titanfall 2. And I'm Team Trico over here as well. So I didn't know where I should sit.
It's just you.
I'm not going to lie.
It's just you.
What do you mean?
As in, like, Overwatch, that was bollocks. Who cares what the public think, frankly. I'm listening for your opinions, just getting that in there. But yeah, for Last Guardian, my experience compared to what everyone else was talking about, I was like, it was fine.
I came away properly positive from that game, but why are we talking about how did we get onto The Last Guardian? We all rose started on
bullying me again, but yeah.
Bullying's a strong word there. It's a strong word, right? I think it's probably best to call it a day. We've all had fun, haven't we? We've all enjoyed each other's company.
Yes.
And to be honest, my drink's empty, and I bought the last round. So, James, off you trot. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Mark, for coming and joining us and offering your opinions. I'll mostly be editing you out and keeping it to the 3 main ones. And if you're listening at home, curl up. Go to sleep and think of me. Thanks for living it. David Turner. Goodbye.